more of just a last minute thing, but
Yeah.
we were able to film in like the place that we technically started in.
Yeah, and 1 year ago on
What was it, last week?
Thursday, it would be our first video was posted.
Was it this Thursday? Wow.
22nd of August. That's the first ever time we posted. So,
Because I half wonder when the first time we like attempted to record was as well. Because I know even before we got these mics, we had the little microphones and
yeah,
everything, and then I think didn't we try a time before to
right here, yeah.
just record? We
Off of
just tried to
my
record off the audio.
We tried to record off the laptop audio and I hated it. I was like, holy I was like, my God. I was like, I literally I like tried. I was like, we'll try it, and I'm probably not gonna like it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So we tried it, and I just did not like it. I was like, oh God. I was like, this is not good.
Yeah, I mean, took a lot of trial and error. I mean, luckily we found these mics where we liked them the first time we bought them, everything like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they put out pretty good audio for
No,
the
I love
price
them.
of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
These really aren't. I mean, these are budget-friendly mics, and
Mhm.
we just are. We're really trying to keep it on a budget, but also bring you guys good content. So, because we're still young. We're kids. We're just trying to grow with the pod, and we're gonna show you guys that anything is possible with the amount of money you have. Like, we did not spend that much money on this pod, and we're here making it. And this episode won't really drop till September. I have no idea when, but we already have episodes filmed for August, so you guys won't be seeing this till September. So I hope you guys are enjoying your fall, or the start of it. I don't know what part of September we'll be in, but yeah, we just wanted to get this one out there for you guys, and we're really enjoying this little trip we're on right now, and we're just making connections and trying our best. So
Yeah, I like how we've been doing everything now where ever since we got back, we've been constantly putting out content every single week, and like you said, it's not coming out till September. We're already that booked with all these other podcasts. It's crazy.
yeah,
And I know like we had so many different people like reach out and ask like to be on it or stuff like that. So I think it's gonna get a lot busier, especially that when I come home for winter break. I feel like
it's gonna be lit.
it's gonna be really busy.
It's gonna be so fire.
I know I talked to you about going down to Florida and filming a couple podcasts. I think that would be really fun.
We'll see what happens. We'll keep that on the DL for the pod, but we got a lot of things planned, and when you have something ahead of you and you have something that you're looking forward to, life is always exciting. So I always encourage people like if you see something that you want and you just don't think it's obtainable, please like go after it, because if you would have told me 3 years ago I was sitting here doing a pod with him, I mean, even though I said I was going to be, I probably would have told you you're crazy, because I never thought I'd be doing this. But even though we only have 115 subscribers or whatever it is right now, I'm just super grateful. And I posted some on the story the other day. I said, when times are good, be grateful, and when times are bad, be graceful. So whenever you're going through a tough time, just be graceful with yourself, and understand that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and understand that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Just always understand that.
100% agree. I mean, yeah, like some days like I'm in shock with what we've been able to do so far. Now, I mean, obviously we're not getting the views that like everyone's always like saying like, oh, you guys are doing all this for nothing. Like
Yep.
we're getting decent amount of views.
Look.
Like it's just the start of everything. It's like, okay, we got a year under there. Most people
Most
that
people
are like
quit after a year.
yeah, and then most people that will do YouTube for a while, it takes them like 6 years to blow up.
Yep.
Or like 5 6 years. So it's like I think we have a solid base right now for the first year. Now obviously we're going on to our second year, so we have to step it up
Yeah.
a lot more. And I think we definitely have with like guests, content, everything. I know possibility of expanding outside of just podcasts and everything, making another channel or something.
Yeah.
That's something that would be in the talks. But I think so far what we've accomplished is a positive sign. And like
Yeah.
I mean we hit 100 subscribers before the end of the year. So yeah, like
Yeah,
we're
I
fine.
mean, yeah, we hit 100 subscribers in less than a year, and honestly, like, as much as everyone wants to say that's only, I mean, you put 100 people, 115 people in a room, that's a lot of people just to start off with, and the thing is, we could be stuck there, we could grow. There's no going back unless a whole bunch of people unsubscribe. But there's no going back. We could stay there, and we could stop doing content, and we could keep going, and no matter who unfollows, who says what, we can just keep going. And that's, I've always said that to people, like, there's times in my life all the time. People tell me I shouldn't do this or I shouldn't do that, and I talked about it on one of the pods before, and I was like, if I listened to everybody, that ever told me what to do, I would not be sitting right here in this room right now. I would be out there doing something else. So I always, whatever's in your heart, like I always tell people, like I don't care if it's playing major. I don't care if it's playing on the PGA Tour. I don't care if it's playing Major League Baseball. I don't care if it's playing in the National Basketball Association. I don't care. Whatever is in your heart, follow it. And guess what? If you fail, have a backup plan. You can never fail with a backup plan because you always have something in your back pocket to fall back on. So if your ultimate dream fails, which not most people, if you actually put your mind and time to it, not most people's dreams fail. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is, but always have that like back pocket, always have that backup plan, because then you can never fail. Because I saw your thing on your story the other day. It was like, I spend my time or something chasing my dream, and you guys are working 9 to 5s or whatever. Yeah. My backup plan is a 9 to 5. Like, oh, the worst it could be is being a normal human being. Mm-hmm. That's the worst my life could be after chasing my dream. So the worst your life could get is being a normal human being from not chasing your dream. Mm-hmm. So always chase your dream, and I don't care what it is. Just always chase it. I will say that till the day I die.
Yeah, no, I love that quote. When I saw that, it was perfect.
Great.
Because most people will end up working just a normal job, normal life, everything like that. Like, okay, if they're satisfied with that, that's fine. And some people enjoy that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like all the work.
We need that in the world. We need that. So.
But I know obviously we still have lives outside of our podcast. We still do a lot of things, but it's like what we do with our free time is putting it back into this podcast and putting into stuff that we think will grow everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a good goal to have is when you set the bar high. Because if you don't have goals in life, like you're really living for nothing in like simple words type thing. Just because if you're not striving to do the most with your life, then it's kind of pointless at the same time. I think everyone has to have a goal in mind, even if that's just making a certain amount of money a year or working a certain amount of hours a week, type thing. Those goals build up and they're going to make you better in the future. And I mean, we're still young. We're still 20. So
exactly.
It's we're the quote I posted today, it was use your, hold on, actually I'll pull it up because I thought that was really good for our circumstances wise, because
it was
it's the goal isn't to enjoy your 20s and retire at 65. The goal is to use your 20s and retire in your 30s and 40s.
Yep.
Which, I mean, not saying we're going to 100% do that. We're growing this podcast. We're at 20. We're right at the beginning of what this quote's talking about. And we're only growing every year. Income's growing, everything. Our content's getting better, everything.
We started this when we were 19 years old. And I always think that time is, it goes fast. It really does. And time flies. I'm not debating that at all. But we're 20 now, and we aren't even near our prime. We're not even close to it. I mean, we're not near 26. We're 6 years away from 26. And I know in 6 years I'm going to look back and say, wow, I probably shouldn't have said that because 6 years went like this, just a snap. But I know 6 years is a lot of time. You look, it's 3,000 days or something like that. I mean, you have 3,000 days, 3,000 nights. And I know every day's not promised. You never know what could happen. But what I'm saying is we have a lot of time to just keep this going. And this is a side thing right now. What I'm saying is we could still use our normal lives. We could do our normal lives, and we could still get this out for you guys. So it's not like it's taking all of our time to do this. And I would love to do this full time. That's my whole plan with this. I hope I can do this full time, and I hope in the future that, I mean, I love doing this. This is something I love and I'm passionate about. So obviously I want to do it every day. But this is something we do on the side, and it's never going to interfere with our life. So that's why we do this, and we just love doing it for you guys and love doing it ourselves. We love meeting new people and all that. So
I think something we can get on this pod is possible future plans. I know we talk about guests and everything, but I think you can start if you want, or I can start where you see our pod in a couple years and where you want to get it to, everything like that.
So where I see this thing is a couple thousand subscribers. I really don't think we'll have that many. Maybe 5 to 10K. Couple years, I don't know how long down the road, but a couple of years I could see 5 to 10,000 subscribers, and I definitely want to start traveling with this too.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to have our own. If I have my own place by then, I definitely want to have a like a studio, like a sit down studio, so we can have people over. And I just want to have my own studio because I think that'd be sick. Because we'll have a traveling kit and we'll have a studio to fall back on. So I'd love to get more stuff and just expand there with guests and stuff. Honestly, I don't know. Anything can happen. Elon Musk could be on our pod in a couple years. Who knows? So I'm just going to take it. I hope I can get Nick Naracina on. I've been wanting to get him on forever. And I hope I can get a couple other people that I watch on YouTube on, and some Instagram people. But I also love having my friends on. I love talking to my friends, and it's always a good time. So it doesn't matter to me. I'll talk to anyone. I love talking. That's why I do a podcast.
So I know, like early on in our podcast we had talked about this, but before I share mine, I kind of want to know, like, what are your, like, top 3 guests? Like, I know you just mentioned 2 names, but like,
it's a year
what are your
now,
top 3 guests, like, updated? Because we did this, one of our first podcasts.
It was literally our first
we did
pod.
That. So I kind of want to hear your top 3.
So I'd put Nick at 1. I'd love to get Nick on. I'll put Bradley Martin at 2. I'd love to get him on. I watch Raw Talk, and I love every bit of it. I love every single one. Like, I literally watch all of them. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Number 3, I would love to get Chet Holmgren on. I saw he was just on Playoff Peas pod, and I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know he did pods like that. So, Chet Holmgren, if you're seeing this, I'm your number 1 fan. I'd love to get you on.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you're always
like literally
keeping up with him and everything.
I'm his number 1 fan. I know I am.
I mean,
Love
I guess
him.
my top 3 would definitely be, obviously, number 1. I want to get Kyle on here from Nelk.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
I think that he would be the best guest. Just watching his podcast, like,
Yep.
and all
Full
the
send.
business that he's done and like how he's grown his channel, because they've only been around for 10 years.
It
I
would
think,
be
something
nice
like
to
that.
know, like, how he actually came about Full Send and, like,
Yeah.
how he built it from the ground up. Like, it would be cool to, like, ask him, because I don't think he's ever talked about that stuff.
I think he's like skimmed over it, like, early on.
I'd
in their
like for him to
pods.
get, like, deep about that.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Like, I think we could have, like, obviously our podcasts are only like an hour, but I think even talking to him, I think like a conversation with him would last hours.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
and there's just so much you want to jam into one podcast. But I think him one. Obviously, I want to get Trevor Bauer on here too.
Yeah, for sure. That'd
He's
be so
such a great player, and I know he's done podcasts. Like, he did one with
Theo Vaughn.
yeah, Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
I don't know why that took me so long to remember that, but yeah, he was on his podcast. That was pretty interesting. Like, there's just so many different people you can choose from. I'm gonna go out on a whim, and I know I probably shouldn't say this, but I think number 3, I would love to get Donald Trump on here,
It would be
because
sick.
like watching him in Full Sense pod, like, that was pretty fire.
It
Just to
was
hear all
dope
of his
seeing
stuff.
all that. Like, he's starting to come to, like, the content world, and I don't know if he's doing that for his, like, marketing, but
Yeah.
he speaks very well. The guy, if you're, I don't care what kind of political views you have, and mine don't matter either, really, but he's a well-spoken person, and he knows what he's talking about,
Yeah.
and it would be cool to have him on for
And
sure.
I think whether or not, like, whatever happens in November, like, we aren't that political or
Yeah.
anything, so it's like, I would love to get him on whether he's the president or whether
Yep.
he's not. So I think he would just be an interesting guest.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said earlier, like, I definitely would. I want to start traveling for this. Obviously, we can't travel like the most because, like,
Yeah.
it costs a decent amount of
Yeah.
money to travel, and if you're constantly traveling, it's like, oh wow, you're spending a ton of money. But I mean, we've already started to plan out different traveling things, where, like, we're going to, like, the bigger cities and, like, getting multiple guests from there. I know we have there's a lot of people that from Florida that wanted to be on, so, like, we go to, like, a mutual location, we can probably get some people on. But yeah, I think that's going to be huge for us, is just traveling, gaining those connections, because I know we said this before. In life, you need connections. You
Yep.
can't. I'm a firm believer that that's the number one thing you need in life is connections, and you can't survive off of not knowing anyone. I mean, I guess you can build up your business and everything, but at the end of the day, what is going to make your business succeed and grow is those connections that you build with people along the way, and that's just so important for, like, young people to start getting connections. Even if you're 15, 16, like, you're starting out on different things, like whether it's YouTube or even, like, you're starting your own brand, or, like, you want to get into different things, like, you need some sort of connections, especially if you're getting into sports and stuff. Like, knowing people that are at the next level or knowing people that know how to get you there, that's what's going to build you. And
Yeah,
you always want to
definitely.
surround yourself with people that are doing better than you.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a great job with not I guess, necessarily like hanging out, talking to people that are at where we want to be, just so you can hear like their stories and how they did it and like get their like inputs and like what they did that succeeds for them, and then we're taking that in, all that information in, and applying it to us and like tweaking it kind of, because no two people have the same journey through. Everyone's going to have a different journey getting to where they want to be, and I think that's what's great about life is you can get to the same spot as someone, but like your journey there is going to be completely different than theirs. And I love that. Just like putting time into this is like not very many people start out with podcasts. Like one guy I know, he has a good following, and he had told us, he was like, yeah, like I think what you need to start with is like making other content, and then once you build like a following, getting into a podcast. Now we totally did it opposite. We started with a podcast. We're sticking to working on the podcast all the time. And it's like, yeah, now we're going to possibly expand. But like we took a different route to getting our subscribers and everything, and we're starting with the podcast. And I think that was just a great thing to like kind of like flip on what everyone else has done.
We're definitely taking it ass backwards, but I got to say, you know what? From the start, our goal was a podcast. So I wasn't about to start something I didn't want to start just to start the thing I wanted to start. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I just went out on a limb, and I took a risk, and we literally bought all the equipment, put our own money into this, and we split it all, and I think it's paid off. I'm doing something that I love now, and honestly, we put some money into it. It wasn't a lot, but it wasn't cheap either. Like we put money into this, and we have that third. We want to get a fourth mic. We're definitely gonna put some more of our own money into that just to get a fourth mic, and because we want to expand as much as we can. We want to have as many people as we can on, and we want to just dominate. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to dominate the podcast world, and I'm ready to just take over, and I'm just ready to like just do it. Like I love doing this, so it's my favorite thing ever.
I think it definitely helps that we're believing in ourselves. I think confidence has been one thing that we've had is we put money out. Like again, like it's not like we spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this. I would say like maybe on this type of stuff, like maybe around like we did a good solid chunk of money to just start all this, and it's just like we're believing in ourselves enough we're investing in ourselves to know we're going to get content out, know that in the future we want to be at the top, and I think we definitely are trending in the right direction. I think we can definitely get there sooner rather than later, especially now that we're
there's
starting.
There's going to be people that say, oh, you're trending in the right direction, but you're at 100 subscribers.
Yeah,
I've heard that a lot. And that's always what I'm telling you. People are always going to be like that. That's why I don't, you know what, even sometimes I respond to them, but I always respond in a very respectful manner to haters, because I know that, I'm a jealous dude too. The jealousy runs in my blood. Like, I'm definitely jealous. I see something, I'm like, dang, I wish I had that. But so I understand how they feel sometimes, and I understand, and it's nothing to be jealous about. We're just starting out, and it's actually tougher than you think.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be jealous about. So anybody that hates the pod, this pod isn't for everyone. I've never said that in my life. Not everyone's gonna like this pod. Some people listen to other pods and like them more, obviously. And I always, when you get into stuff like this, there's always gonna be doubters, haters. You just have to learn how to deal with them. I always respond in a respectful manner, just trying to see a little bit more of their side, and I'll never get super angry at someone unless they, come at my family or my friends or anything like that. So,
and especially we don't have like this high amount of following, but we still exceed our following and views and everything.
And we do get a lot of love. Like I'm not like 98%, 99% has been love so far, and we appreciate that from you guys for sure.
Yeah, it's always those few people that are like,
there's like 2 or 3 people.
Anything.
Why didn't you post this? Why didn't you post that? And I'm like, well, if you want us to post that, go start your own thing.
Yeah.
I would love it. I would support it fully. Even though you hated on me, I would 100% support you, because I told you from the beginning, I want everyone to do what they want to do. So if you're trying to change what we're doing on here, it's not going to work, 1. And 2, we want you to start your own thing and do your own thing and do that idea, because that's an idea. Like I said in the beginning, don't let your ideas go to waste. Like, do never let them go to waste. Always use them, no matter what.
Yeah, I think one thing I was just thinking of is like Steven brought up in our podcast from a year ago is he said the hardest thing is to start everything.
It is,
and
definitely.
we definitely started everything. I mean, we had that little break, but now we're doing
back.
everything. So
Yep.
I will say starting was definitely the hardest thing. Is just
Easily.
getting content out there and everything. Now it seems
Learning.
like the process is just so much smoother.
So easy.
Now that we added more people. I mean, especially we're adding another person that's kind of in the works, but like we've added it so it's making it smoother on everyone. So it's not like one person's doing everything and one person's not doing anything. So it's like we're at that time now where it's like we're just smooth sailing through all of this, and it's like we're getting a ton of content out there while it's being quality. And I mean, I like just sitting down here, like especially now, like weren't 100% sure if we were going to film something today.
Yeah.
And I just like being able to sit down and just without even planning it, like we didn't know what
Yep.
we were going to talk about.
No
And I, like,
idea. Before this pod, I literally said, before the cameras started rolling, I literally said I have no idea what we're talking about today, but we're going to talk.
Yeah, and I like this type of thing.
Yeah.
But I guess another question I would have is like your top like couple places that you would want to either travel to or film, like places you would
wanna
want
do
to
like
travel
three?
or film.
Three again?
Yeah, we can do three
All right.
again.
So easily number one is Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even close. There's a lot of people that live there, a lot of content creators that live there, and the views are beautiful. I'd love to travel. I've been to Florida one time, and I was very young, 11 years ago. I was like 8 or 9, and I went to Disney World. So it wasn't even like Florida. It was kind of just like Orlando. I mean, it was Florida, but it wasn't even like the beaches of Florida. I've never been to a Florida beach. So Miami Beach would be sick. Miami, anywhere in Miami would be sick. Another one, I would say Texas, anywhere in Texas. Just, all them houses I sent you in Texas,
Dude,
like
those are
filming at one of
wild.
them. There's some crazy houses that are like kind of cheaper because Texas is more of a more conservative state. And geez, it's too early for this, y'all. And but anyway, Texas is a more conservative state, so their houses are like cheaper. Everything is like cheaper there.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
wild. Like some of those things that you sent me, they're like what, like 6, 7 bedrooms and
Yeah,
like
and it's
a
like
ton of bathrooms.
500,000.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
what?
it's crazy.
I'm like, dude, that's like 2.5 million here.
Yeah. And,
But anyway,
and
yeah.
there it's only like 300K.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah, Texas for sure. Definitely a nice state. And I don't want to leave the country, but just because I'll say this, if we were going to leave the country, filming a pod in Italy would be
That would be
so
so
right on the
fire.
like the stream of water. I don't know what it's called. I haven't done like any of my research on Italy. I should because I am Italian. But filming like outside somewhere at like Italy with Italy in the background, or somewhere on a hill with Italy in the background, I'll say that I don't ever want to leave the country. Really, I'm not really into that because I don't know. I love this country. I have no problem with it. I'm not really into the thought of leaving the country. But if we were to like this blows up and there's a huge influencer in Italy and we want to do a pod with them, I'd 100% be down to go to Italy.
No,
It'd be so fire.
that would definitely be.
100%.
That's a good pick. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that.
I just wanted to change it up because I was gonna say Oklahoma, but that's just because I'm a Thunder fan. I think
Yeah.
it'd be cool to like film outside the arena or something.
Yeah.
Paycom Center, or I forget what it's called.
I think my top one,
It's got
like,
to be Florida.
I mean, yeah, somewhere in Florida. I mean, I've never been to Miami, and I
Yeah.
think that would be cool. I've been
Tampa,
to
too.
like
Tampa
I've
would
been
be
to
cool.
Tampa. That's
Yeah.
pretty nice. Tampa, like Orlando, all of those. That's where like my family is. But definitely somewhere in Florida. I'll go more of like states wide. I think Florida would be top
Yeah.
one. Number 2. I mean, obviously, everyone goes to LA, and I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
getting in LA and
It would suck
meeting
like
those
being
people.
there, but
Yeah.
also it would be awesome to like meet the people there
Yeah.
and stuff. And
I think the main reason it would suck to be there is just so many people.
it's so
Like
expensive.
it's good and
Everything's
bad. I don't
expensive.
like being in settings where it's so many people, but I think to go out there and film something would be so beneficial for us, and it would get us a lot of experiences, a lot of new connections and everything. I think that would be a really good place. And then like you going out of the country, I think I've always wanted to go to Australia, and I
That
think
would
that would
be
be so
sick.
fire to film there.
We do have to do like a Savannah live stream. Of
Yeah.
us, like like live streaming us on like a Savannah ride. That'd
Yeah.
be so sick.
The only downside to Australia is like I'm not a big fan of like spiders and
Oh,
snakes
me
and
neither,
everything.
bro.
They're
I hate
all over
spiders.
there.
I know, bro.
But I think
Crazy.
that would be very tough. Is
Yeah.
going out there.
Vegas would be cool too.
That would be pretty
The
nice.
sphere in the background or
Yeah.
something. That'd be so dope.
I think an underrated pick would even be like an Arizona type thing.
Arizona. I like New York. I
New
think
York wouldn't
with,
be
like,
bad.
In like a skyscraper with like the window in the background. That'd be so sick.
And I think New York's like more achievable just because we're so
It is.
close to it.
Yeah, we're really
That's
not
like
that
a
far.
driving distance for us. So that would be definitely cool.
But yeah, we have a lot of places in mind, and I hope one day we can make it all happen. I think we will, and so it'll be super exciting when that happens. It's just one of them moments. Like you
Yeah.
look back, we'll look back on this episode and be like, "Oh my God, look how far we've come from even a year ago, from even 2 years ago." Like I look back at our first episode, which came out a year ago, and I'm like, "Geez, like we've come so far in 365 days. Look how far we've come." And, I said 6 years is 3,000, around 3,000 days, you know. So it's crazy. That's 10 times more days than we've already had with this spot, 10 times. So that's what I always tell people. I'm just like, you know what? We have so much time with this pod, and I want to keep going till, I'm in my 30s and 40s. We're still young then, so I want to keep going as long as this will take us. And
Yeah.
I hope this never ends. That's how I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that would be.
I've had too many like failed opportunities with stuff, and this is the one I'm not gonna fail.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been crazy, but I mean, another one. I feel like I'm asking so many questions,
That's
but
fine. I'll ask a few then.
I know we towards the one that we filmed, our like update one that we just posted.
Yeah.
Towards the end we talked about mental health and
Yeah.
everything, and I think we did a good job hitting on a lot of the basics and stuff of like mental health and for people to like reach out for help and everything. But I think if you're down, like I totally want to like get into like something like that.
Yeah.
Like especially now because I know we
100%.
had a lot of people that are talking, or like some of our viewers were really excited that we were talking about
Yeah.
mental health and stuff like that. And I know like I had a couple other people from a couple podcasts ago when we got into like religion and everything.
Yeah.
So I think those are the two things I would like to hit on today.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really tough.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
I mean, we could start with mental health. I think that was a something that
Do they want to hear like our experience with it?
like I mean, we can go into that. I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
talk
I don't
about
know.
whatever.
I don't know how deep we want to get into, but I know that's something a lot of people our age or even
Yeah.
older than
people.
us, and it's like a lot of people are being more aware of that type of stuff, and like it's something that everyone can kind of, not everyone, but majority of people can kind of like relate to us about, is like mental health and stuff. And I think it's becoming like a really big issue, and I think like we did a good job with like mentioning it and having people reach out and like try to reach out to us or
Yeah.
reaching out to the number we posted. And I think it's just so important for people, especially young, to seek out for that help.
Definitely.
And really,
You have a lot of life to live, and
yeah,
even there's been days I don't want to be here. I mean, everyone has that day, Why am I here? What is my purpose? What is that? And I love this. And the worst part is I love this life. I'm so grateful for everything I've ever had, and I've been saying that for a while now. Even when we started this potty and go back and watch, I'm so grateful for everything I've had. And there's days where I just do not want to be here. I'm like, dude, this is it. Like I literally do not want to be here anymore. And there's been a couple days I've had like that, and I always push. I'm like, let's just give it one more day. So I always give it one more day, and then something better will happen, and I'll forget about that. But that's just that's life. Everybody has that day, and it's something you should be open about. It's never something you should hide away and not talk about, because there's a lot of people that have that day, and it might feel like you. And in the moment, there's moments where I'm like, damn, everybody's having fun out there, and I'm sitting here doing nothing, and I'm not, I'm not myself anymore, and I changed a lot, and I don't know. There's just everyone has that moment, and so I always encourage people to talk about it. No matter, I mean, your friends want to hear about it. It might not seem like it, and you might seem like they're all happy and good. I promise you, everyone goes through something, and I promise you, they probably are going through the same stuff you are, and they've had a lot of struggles. So just always talk to somebody about it, no matter what. That's what I have to say.
I mean, yeah, it's like similar to me. I know like every day I'm always like, oh yeah, like I love living, and it's true. I
Every
do
day.
love living,
Love it.
but there's days where I'll wake up, or like even throughout the day I'll be like, man, like this is like, it's getting tough to like do everything.
It's
like,
scary. It's a scary world.
oh yeah,
Scary.
and like it's like you find that motivation. It's like you have it for a couple days, and it's like, okay, so like say you are super motivated for 4 days, and then that fifth day it's like, oh wow, like I'm really drained. Like it's okay to take days off where like you're just to yourself, everything like that.
Easily. Yep.
Like, and I think that's important, is that you're not overworking essentially, because I don't think I can name like one person that would be able to just like sit down and like do something every day and not need like some sort of day off. And like just like with working, like people are working 5, 6 days. They need that seventh day
Yeah.
of the week to like just relax and take a break. I mean, for some people, like it's not an option. Like you have to support your family, stuff like that. You have to
Yeah.
work those 7 days and then continue work 7 days
That's
every
what I'm
week.
saying though. Like we're so lucky.
Yeah,
Like we're so lucky.
we're at like our prime spot.
I was
where
thinking about this
we're
in the
able
car,
to.
bro. I was literally driving home, and I don't know why. I was just thinking about this. I was like, you know what? There's what? I'll just say 8 billion people in this world.
Yeah,
And I said, and people were like, that's a lot of people. Like it is. That's a lot of people. But how many of them people, you know, were lost at birth? How many of those
Yeah.
people were aborted? How many of those people, you know, how many people could there be if we didn't have death at birth? How many people could there be if there wasn't these tragic accident? You know, there could be 16, 20 billion. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just thinking about how lucky out of one, and it's me too, like my brain, me, 1 out of 20 billion chance, you know, that I'm here. I'll just say that. It's probably even more than that. And I'm here doing what I love, you know. And there's people that are like glad, like some people are like, oh, I'm glad, like I wish I wasn't born. I wish, and that's not the case, man. You just have
No.
to, no matter, like I said, when times are good, be graceful or be grateful, and when times are bad, be graceful. You know, you just have to be graceful of life, even if you are having the worst day of your life. Family member died. I always try to look at the bright side of things. You know, I always try to look at what was good today, what was great today. And then obviously there's that there's really bad things. There's drug addiction. There's this. You know, there's always bad things going on. There's always going to be a bad thing in your day. Every day is filled with something bad. You know, every day, no matter what. You can't always have good and you can't always have bad, or they wouldn't exist. So I always just encourage people to just be graceful with themselves and just take the time to just realize like we're human beings and we all struggle. So I always just say take your time with it too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, their lives move so fast they can't like just take the time to like look at
Exactly.
what they've actually accomplished. And I think it's really good that you brought up that fact that there's a lot of people in this world and it's like everyone's going through stuff. So it's like I think people need to like take the time to just sit down and be like, okay, well this is what I accomplished today. Like it's all about those small victories that
Exactly.
you have each day.
Yep.
Like that the one I think it was a Navy SEAL or something like that. I think it was a general or something, but he had talked about like you just have those little victories, and you always see that. I have always seen that video, and it's like just making your bed. Like that's one victory. Like you're
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
have seen that
build.
video.
You're gonna build off of victories that you have.
Yep.
Like, as something as just as simple as making your bed. Like
Exactly.
you're doing that task, and it's gonna motivate you to do more. And I get like you have off days and everything, but I think during those off days, like you take a little break and then you continue to build your victories up. And one day you're going to get to where you want to be, whether it takes 2 years or 30. Like you're going to at some point see that you've come so far and you've accomplished a lot of things that it's like, okay, now I really put my dream into perspective and I started working towards it, and it's going to pay off in the end. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big thing for people to realize that how lucky they are to live every day.
And like be born healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
there's complications at birth. There's obviously autism is a thing, Down syndrome. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that people pray for a 100% healthy baby. And there's a whole bunch of different complications that can happen at birth. And I was born a 100% perfect, healthy baby. It is very, very, and people will say, oh, it's common to be born that. No, it is very rare. And obviously there's a ton of people that are born in this world 100% healthy. I'm not putting that away. It is very rare. I don't care what anyone says. It is very rare to be born a 100% healthy human being. And, you know, you just have to be so grateful for that. And that's one of the things I'm grateful for is I got to grow. I had an easy life to grow up to. I didn't have to go through anything. I had a childhood. I had friends. I went to school. I did all this stuff. And people get mad when I look back on going to school. And people get mad when I look back on like past memories and they say, "Oh, you're stuck back there." I'm not stuck back there. I'm here. I'm present. I just am so grateful for them times that it's called nostalgia, I guess, but I don't really like to call it that because I'm just so grateful for them times that like I always look back and I always try to remember how much fun I had and how grateful I am to live this life that I'm living. So
Yeah, no, I had the same thing. Like I never like born healthy and like I had a great family. Like I didn't have to worry about like a lot of things that some people go through. Like big things are like I always had. There was always food there. There was always a house, everything like that.
All
And
your
I'm grateful
limbs,
for that type of stuff.
everything,
Yeah,
all your fingers, all your toes,
like yeah.
everything.
And I mean, even now, like I still am at the spot where I still have everything that a lot of people are that some people don't have, and
Exactly.
it's all about appreciating what you have. I mean, obviously, like I want more. I want to accomplish more. I want to achieve more. But like at the end of the day, like
Everyone does.
I still have that solid base where I grew up and had my family, everything like that, friends, stuff like that, where you like it helped shape my life so much. It made life so much easier. And I know there's a lot of people out there that they start off rough and they turn it around. And I think that's just what is so motivational is like they started off with very little and now look at them. They're making a lot. Like, I mean, one person I think of is like LeBron. Like he really didn't have much growing up from what I know, and look at him now. He has a lot of money.
Paid athlete
and now he gives back too. So it's like
Yep.
for people to be at the top and they're starting to give back and everything like that, I think it just helps motivate the younger people that don't have as much to strive for so much greater than they have now.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what everyone needs to do is even if you have stuff, like have everything set, like kind of like what we do, I think it's good for us to take into account that we have everything and just build on that. And I think it definitely helps life go smoother when you have it. But it, like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we strayed away from what we were originally talking about, but for sure, like, that's, like, to get back to what we were talking about is mental health. And that whole thing was about mental health. You know, there's people that don't think they have anything and, you know, but really you have life. And no matter, you could be homeless, you could be poor, you might not have a single dollar to your name, but you have one thing and you will always have life. Until you are done here, you will always have life, and that's just I appreciate it so much. Like every little thing, hanging out here, talking to Tutor, going on vacation, going, you know, taking a drive, you know, going to the grocery store. There's people that can't do this stuff. There's a lot of people that can't do this stuff, and so I'm always and my mind races. I have a million things going on in my mind a day. I'm always thinking about what's next. I'm always thinking about the past. I'm always thinking, and I was born a thinker. Like even when I was young, I noticed when I was in high school, I would never be thinking about my work, and that's why I didn't do well in high school because I would always be thinking about what I was doing either after. Or I was thinking about what did I do before? What can I do to improve? What can I do here? And my mind has always been a racing mind, and I didn't really know like what anxiety was, but I've always dealt with it. I always have. I was always nervous to do things. I was nervous to do this. Hell, I was nervous. I'm always nervous before a podcast, but I always get on there and I try and show, you know, especially when meeting new people. Everyone gets nervous when they're meeting someone new, but mine's different. Like I remember, like in school, I would go and I wouldn't pay attention because I was so nervous of like what other people thought of me. I was just nervous. Like I was a nervous wreck, and this is through college. This is through everything I've ever done. Even when I was in first grade, you know, I've always, and every little kid gets nervous. That's a thing. But I've always been like super nervous, like just to do whatever I wanted, and that's why I've kind of changed the way I look at things. Like I'm always like now I'm like not as nervous to do. I still get nervous. I'm still I'm a wreck sometimes, but I always just take that step, and after I take the step, I'm like in love with what I do. So I that's why I always say like people are always so scared to start something. They get so anxious about it, and then their brain basically tells them not to do it, and they mentally struggle. And I've had times like that. I've had a million things. I've had a million times like that, and I just want people to not have them thoughts and to just do what they want to do, like I said in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's something that when I was younger, like the whole being nervous about different things kept me from a lot of different things. And
playing basketball, basketball practice.
All the time, yeah.
Like, just practice. I'd miss a shot, and I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to me? And baseball, I'd miss a ground ball or something. Oh my god, and this is practice. And I was so nervous about everything. My mind would just race with different thoughts. What's gonna happen? And I would never live in the now, and I always regret that. I will always regret that.
No, I 100%, especially because times went so fast. But like, yeah, just like overthinking everything, and like you're always worried about everything you're doing in the moment. And even now, like when I was younger, like I never would have pictured like talking on a podcast because
Oh, me neither.
I didn't like talking that much,
Hmm.
and like I didn't like going out and meeting new people. So I think that kind of just kept me to myself and everything. And now like I still get like nervous when I go on like big social settings to
Yeah,
like
for
meet new
sure.
people. It's
Me
like
too.
it's still like kind of nerve wracking to like be out there and like talking to random people, everything like that. But it's as much as it is nerve wracking. It's
Hmm.
also for me. I enjoy it now. Like
I
I
love it.
start to
I find so much joy
yeah, I
in
start to
finding new
embrace
people.
just meeting new people,
Hmm.
talking to them, just like figuring out them and like building like a connection ultimately. Even if it's someone I only talk to one time or if
Exactly.
it's someone I have lifelong friend, it's just nerve wracking in some social settings.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean like I it's definitely something that I've struggled with still currently is
Yeah.
just getting out and doing different things. But then I also look at like there's still days where I need to be by myself and like my
Hmm.
social battery is so low
Uh-huh.
because like I go on like multiple days where I'm talking to random people. I'm out hanging out with friends, doing everything with them, and then it's just like I need like a couple, even if it's just a couple minutes to myself where I'm just
Yeah.
able to just relax and not have to feel that pressure of talking to people or like for baseball even like you said like practice is key. Like you want to get playing time, you have to do good in practice and games, and it's like you get put in multiple different spots. And I think that's what's really kind of like made me overthink is like you make one error or something, like
Yeah.
you might get benched, but
Exactly.
you get so many different opportunities that it's like you just embrace that. And like especially growing up, like I wasn't the best baseball player. Like I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily think I was going to be able to play baseball in college and everything. Now I'm here. It's like I took all of those errors and all that overthinking. I just not necessarily overcame it, but yeah, I mean technically overcame it
Yeah.
and just really like started playing like my game and like it's got me so far all the way up to college so far. And I think just adapting to those types of like roadblocks has just been so beneficial for me.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, especially like because you're like pitchers are solo. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they have the team behind them, but it's a solo thing. Like it's not like a team. It's not like a team sport. You know, I don't know how to like put it, but like basketball, you have five guys out there that are gonna
Hmm.
help you pitching. It's you're pitching to a batter. You know, and you have the catcher on your side, but and you have the people behind you, but it's you. So like you just kind of have to deal with it. And I remember I pitched for a little bit. I was super young though. I didn't have all these crazy thoughts. Yet I was like super young. But yeah, I know how he feels, and like any of the, I remember like even basketball games, I'd get like so nervous for, because I was like, man, I'm playing in front of 20 people. Oh God, what if I airball a shot? What if I do this? And a lot of people go through these things, even if it's like working at the office. What if I
Hmm.
mess up? What if I mess up this PDF file? What if I, what if I mess up like an export or something? There's different things like that people look at, and people have everybody's gonna have their own struggles, and that's why I always love opening up about mental health on here and stuff. As I said in the first time on the updates pod, if you are going through a tough time, I'm gonna link that number again down below. Please call them, and we're always here for you guys as well. That's just something we're always gonna be here for. Just to contact us, and even if you're just going through like a little rough spurt, always just talk to us. I'm a super open guy too, just super open guy. We're all open. You know, that's what I love about this pod. I love being open on here. We struggle as well. As we said, we're human. We're not these superheroes that don't have any mental struggles. So we
Hmm.
definitely struggle. I'm always fighting with myself. And usually it's just myself that I'm fighting with. So definitely talk to somebody, talk to us, call that number, and do what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely speaking out and everything. Like, I
Yeah.
know for me personally, like I never like to like talk to people,
Oh,
and
me
I think
neither. I hate it.
it's something that I've started to slowly adapt to is
Hmm.
like reaching out and like actually talking to people, and it does help. Like there's some things like people can't talk about
Yeah.
obviously, but there's a lot of things where it's like you're just running by even like a close friend or even sometimes talking to a stranger is like it helps a
Hmm.
lot. And I think just talking for everything really makes everything better. Yeah, I mean, I really never like to bring personal problems out into the open
Me
because
neither.
I like staying to myself. Like, yeah, I'll post a lot of stuff on social media, but I still like there's certain things where I like keeping to myself. I like keeping it private. Like, especially like I mean, I've never been in a relationship, but that's something I like.
Mm.
I'd rather have as like a private relationship where it's not like out in the open where everyone knows, oh, you're going through this with your significant
Yep.
other or something like that.
Because then it brings even more stress on you.
Yeah,
It's like, oh God, they know, that means they know, and if they know, that means they know, and then you start running it through your head and stuff.
yeah.
And yeah, that's why I've really never been in a relationship because of that stuff. And I'm so I don't know how to put this. I like struggle with myself. I couldn't imagine having to worry about someone
Mhm,
else. Like my friends, I always care about them. I worry about them, but it's different with when you have a significant other.
mhm,
You care about their every move. You care about what they're doing, and you care about them as a person, like totally. You know, because you're in love with them at that point, and so it's tough to have that on your conscience while also dealing with stuff yourself.
mhm.
And then you also have to worry about your friends, which I always worry about my friends and stuff, like what they're doing and how they're doing. So, but that, I mean, it's weird because with friends, it's like they'll do their own thing, and then you talk a little bit, and then it's not like as much of a worry as if, oh, is she out with some other guy? Is she out
Mhm.
doing this? Is she out cheating? And I'm not a guy to worry about that stuff. I really ain't. I really love trust. And if I can trust you, you can go do whatever you want. I have no problem. But if you break that trust, I will never trust you again.
Mhm.
It's simple as that.
No, that's tough.
Especially with women.
Oh, trust is definitely a big thing. I mean, there's been some near relationship experiences for me, and it's like, yeah, you like do like one like simple thing. It's like, okay, well, the trust starts to go down. But I think if you find like a perfect person, like, and you can have that trust, you can do whatever. Like,
Exactly.
I like the freedom of being able to do what I want. Like, I don't have to like be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. Like, I don't like reporting to people necessarily.
running it by them all
Yeah.
the time.
Like,
I
I
know what you
like to
mean.
be able to go do what I want, and it's not as hard in a relationship. Like if you find the right person, it's not hard where you have to tell them what you're doing every 10 seconds. Think it's more of a respect thing where it's like they can check in and you can't necessarily get like mad, like that
Hmm.
type of thing. And I think like I need someone to just let me be free and do what I want
That's
in
what
the
I'm
moment
saying.
as long as they trust. And I mean, yeah, it's hard. It definitely seems like it's harder now to do like
Yeah, I have a
relationships like
lot
that.
to say about that. Like,
Yeah.
I have a lot. So I'll get into this relationships topic. I see these new relationships, and it isn't the same like it used to be. So I see these relationships, and I'm not saying anyone. I just see them all around. A good night to them is like just hanging out all day in the beginning and then like coming home and hanging out and then going like they don't do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't do anything fun. They don't go on vacation. They don't and I get it. If you're young, I understand. But then there's also these people that are very controlled by their girlfriends.
Hmm.
It is crazy to me. They are very controlled and I will never, I promise you, I will never ever let someone make other decisions for me. And there is times where you have to be with your woman, and there's times where you have to have your alone time. And there's guys that don't know what that alone time is. They always have to be with that woman. And I feel like when I'm with someone for a week, I start getting sick of them.
Hmm.
I'm like, geez, like, man, they're really irritating me. And it's nothing against them. It's just like the thing that they're doing the same thing over again. And it's really, I don't know how to like describe it, to be honest with you. But there's people that spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with their woman, and they don't make time for their friends anymore. They don't make time for their family. They're always going and doing something with them, and they're never coming back and doing something. And it's just tough to see because I'm so 50-50.
Hmm.
I think it should be 50% and 50%. And maybe even sometimes more with your friends because your friends, you grew up with them. They've done everything for you, and I always will see it that way. So, and a lot of people will come after me for saying this, but I always believe that it should be 50-50. You should always try and balance your life, no matter what it is. But that's one of them. Like, hey, Monday and Thursday I'm gonna hang out with my girl. Tuesday and Saturday the boys can hang out, and if she wants to come along, she can come along. But there's people that are so secluded to themselves that they don't make time for anyone anymore. They just make time for themselves
Hmm.
and their significant other. And I think that's just not that's almost drove me away from relationships because I don't want to be that guy. I
Yeah.
don't want to if you ask me to hang out, oh, I'm with her, I can't. Oh, I'm going to the movies with her, you can't come. Like I want our friendship I want our friendship and friend group to be so close that hey, if I'm going to a movie with this girl and maybe it's not a date, like we're just going and it's not like a date or anything. We're just going. I want Tudor to be able to come along and him bring a girl, or I want my other friend to come along and him bring. I want everyone to be close, and that's how I am. I'm never going to deny that. And there's people that have like the girls will tell them what to do, and
Yeah.
I get it. There's times where, and women are different, and I will always. I'm a super respectable guy. I will always be respectful, but there's times where if I'm going to do something and you try to change my plans, it's not happening. I promise you that. And I don't care. I've never been in a relationship like, oh, it's different when you get in a relationship. I promise you, I will always be here. Like, I will always be my own person.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something I get, like, super upset about, seeing guys, like, just fold for people. And then they end up, like, cheating on them or something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we could have told you that a while
Yeah.
ago. You know, it's tough. It's
No,
tough for me.
it's I share the same thing. Like I wanna be able to do what I want, and I don't think I would ever control someone, nor would I want someone controlling
Exactly.
me.
And I would never control them. If they want to go
Yeah.
hang out, go ahead. I'm never going to say,
Yeah.
when we had plans or something, go ahead.
Because
No
at the end of
problem.
the day, it's your own life. You shouldn't
Exactly.
have to have someone control what you do or take all of your time. Like that's why I'm big on like okay, like especially going away to college. If you have a relationship and you and your girlfriend or something are in different states, like I don't think it's bad because for me personally I've always said like I could go.
Then when you see him after 3 months,
Yeah,
it's like, bro,
it's like
amazing.
those
It's like
memories
meeting
are
him
so
again.
much better.
Exactly.
And I could be the one to like only see someone like if I'm dating someone and they are gone for what college is like.
3 months or something like that.
Well, you only get to see it's only breaks are only like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
So like I could go with not seeing someone for those other months that we aren't on break. Like, it seemed like once a week, once a month, once every couple months. I think you still have that bond as long as you're like there's still FaceTime. There's so many different things out there you can do with them. I think not seeing them in person and not spending all your time with them is so key to
It's like
having
refreshing
a
because
healthy
then you
relationship.
yeah,
Yeah.
because one, you all get to focus on yourself, and then when you're together, you're way more. I mean, it sounds hard. It sounds crazy, but you're way more intimate. You're way more into the person.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I missed you so much. Like you're way more just like into who they are as a person, and you're not into like the thought of them. You know, oh, you're on social media, you're my girl. I want to post you here. I want to, oh, it's our 6 months. Let me post you for that because I'm into the thought of you. No, it's so much more real. And I'm not saying you should go months without seeing. I'm not saying you should go weeks without seeing your significant other. You should see them, I think, a couple times a week for sure. And but it is healthy to have them breaks where you don't see them. And that's how it is. Like, I mean, it sucks to say, but that's the healthiest way. And I'm glad you brought that up because it really is. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I can go like a while without seeing someone and like
Yeah.
you come back and it's like you're at the same spot where you left off. You've grown more, and I think it helps with personal growth is if you have your own time. And like I can hang out with my friends every day and not necessarily get bored as long as we're doing different things. But there's some times where like I'll hang out with friends and I'm like, okay, well, like this is kind of getting boring, that type of thing. And I think for relationships wise, like if you're hanging out with the same person, like I get bored like not right away, but like it's slowly you start to get tired of just seeing the same person every
Exactly.
single day
Yeah.
and you're just hanging out with them.
You don't get different viewpoints of life.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, oh, you could have a viewpoint. We have different viewpoints. Then I talk to you about different stuff than I would talk about like someone else I know. And I have different stuff I would talk to you about than a girl I know. I would talk to a girl about something else, and I would talk about this friend something else. So if you're getting that same viewpoint, you're talking about the same thing every day. It does get boring. So I understand.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of understand like when people are in relationships and they have girl and guy best friends, like you need friends
Yeah.
in life, and I think
Wait, so you understand that?
yeah, I don't think
That's
it's
what I understand it too.
I don't
People
think it's
are
a
like,
bad
dude,
thing.
like, bro, guys get so jealous when, like, okay, if this girl is with this guy all the time, then there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But if they're in a friend group and they have like 2 or 3 guys there, and you trust them fully, like you 100% trust them, and they have done nothing to break your trust, you've been with them a year or two, whatever, then why worry? You know,
Yeah.
that's how I am. Like, why worry? And their other friends are single, and they're trying to get with those guys. Like, why worry? So I've always been that way. I will have friends, and I will not stop talking to the girls I know. And you can have your friends, and you don't have to stop talking to the guys I know. I may seem like a cuck for that, whatever you call that. But no, I'm just being honest. I want everyone to have. I don't want to take away from your life. That's how. If I'm dating you, I don't want to take away what you have. I want to be there for you. I want to be something you add, not be something you have to take away. I don't know how to like put it, but
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in a relationship, I want to be able to have friends. And I think
Yeah.
there's so many people that I've seen, like, their significant other or even them don't have friends, and it's like they're only relying on their girlfriend or boyfriend to like supply all their happiness. And I think that's when it puts a lot of pressure on the other person. I wanna have a relationship where I can still have my friends now.
Yep.
I have my girlfriend, and then I had like, and we're able to grow together. That's what makes a relationship so much better. Is if you're doing one thing and your girlfriend's either doing a similar or like something completely opposite. But at the end of the day, you can see that growth, that you're growing together, you're getting better as people, like together.
And I want whoever I'm with to be cool with all my friends. Like, there's some people, they don't want them to even talk to their friends. I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to meet at one point.
No, it's
you know
messed
what I'm
up because you can't be like, if you're hanging out with like the boys one day and your girl's like, oh yeah, like I haven't seen you in a while, like I wanna come hang out with you. I wanna be able to be like, yo, like you guys chill with her to come. Yeah. And I think, I mean, obviously it's awkward at first, but like I think once they start hanging out more and more, it's just like
always
when
gonna
you're
be
gaining a new friend.
Yeah, it's always gonna be awkward at first.
Like nobody was born like that.
Yeah, it's a girl meeting, or even vice versa. If I'm meeting a bunch of girls, I'm gonna be like, whoa, what is going on here? I'm meeting a bunch of her friends, but it's a girl meeting a bunch of guys, and they're that have been friends for 10, 15 years, that know each other from inside out, know the back, like they know each other like the back of the hand. They know everything about them. And they have inside jokes. They have this, and the girl knows not one. They know their name. That's it.
Yeah.
They know one thing about them, and that's their name. So yes, it is tough, and it's the same with guys. Like if she was to bring me to meet like 4 of her girlfriends, and I had no idea who they were, she knows everything about them from everything like the back of her hand, and I know nothing. I know their names. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely hard to like get to know them.
Yeah, it's definitely hard at the beginning. I mean, I have an example.
Couple times. Yeah.
Like just like it was a while ago, but I was hanging out with a girl, and like she invited me over to hang out with her and her friends. And it's like, okay, well, I'm one of very few guys there. It's like her friend group's majority girls. But like we had been hanging out for like a little bit, and like you could already sense like it was awkward obviously at the beginning, just like talking and stuff like that. But like her friends automatically, like I don't know if it was her implementing like these thoughts into their head or like telling her that stuff, but like they already had like a negative like view on me, and it's just like going into that type of situation where you're with all of them, it's like they're already semi hating on you. So like building a connection with that, they can hate on me like if they're chill with it, but these people weren't chill with it. It was like they were hating on me, so they didn't want to talk to me. And I think that's what ultimately derailed anything with that girl, because her friends already didn't like me. They were just straight up like not wanting to talk, not wanting to even like get to know me before they already had their thoughts. And like, like I'm not going to put myself in that situation again. Like, I think first impressions are good, but everyone makes mistakes. You make a bad first impression. Yeah, people are going to be like, oh yeah, like he's not the one type thing. But I think just hang out with them multiple times, because there's some people that don't like to talk necessarily, or some people that rub you wrong. And I know there's like friends I've had where the first time meeting them, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna be friends. And now I've been friends with them for multiple years. So I think it's all about just giving people the time to adjust to hanging out with them. And I think like, first impressions are good and all, but I think everyone deserves a second chance. And I think you go into friendships, relationships, everything like that with an open mind of, I know who they are. Like, maybe they were a bad person before, but I think they get that second chance to really show that they aren't who I actually thought they were. Now, I guess it gets into like the cheating type. Like, if you cheat on someone, like, like you're a cheater ultimately. Like, you cheat on them once, I think, like if I were to get cheated on, I think it would be the end of it all. Like I'd cut communications, everything like that.
Everything.
You just have to handle it like that.
You can't be going back to people, because that feeds their ego. That's what.
No, and I think it also is like, you get cheated on, you cut them off. They can go into another relationship with, say, like someone that actually like a friend of the person you cheated on. Yeah, like you're going in there, you're like, oh yeah, like they just cheated on someone. And as much as it sucks to say it, like they could totally be a different person with this new person. So they cheated in the past, but I don't think it's necessarily you shouldn't hold that to them that they did in the past, because people learn from their mistakes. And I think it's just people will look at like what they hear and what they are like seeing, and it's like, okay, well, unless you actually know, like took the time to get to know the person or like actually know what went on, it could be a totally different thing, because they could have cheated and someone could have said they cheated, but it's not always how it goes down. necessarily. Like, yeah, 99% of the times when someone says they cheated, they probably did it. But there's that 1% of the time where someone's just saying that to put a bad rep
Yeah,
on that
like
other person, and it just totally derails everything.
yeah, 'cause
Unless
then
you're going
they're
out
known
of,
as a cheater. Then
yeah,
they're known as ran through. They're
yeah,
known as and it's crazy because I've known people say that and this is just straight off belief because I have no idea, but they're like, oh, this person's ran through, and then I talk to them, they're like, dude, I've never done anything with anyone.
yeah. They're
I'm like,
already,
what?
yeah. And I think it like
So
if
it's just
someone's like ran through and like they're like, oh yeah, watch out for this. Like if you find the good in them and they're able to like show that they've changed and it's like something you're looking for, like go for it. I don't think
Exactly.
you should hold someone's past to them.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like my past, like I've always been more known to speak out and be like brutally honest. Like I'll tell you how I see it, and some people from the outside, they're like, "Oh yeah, like that's like a
Yeah.
dick move."
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it's like, is it really that bad? Because if I'm telling you straight up how I see it, I think
Better
it's
than like
more of,
hiding it,
yeah, I think it's more of
secretive.
helping you grow where you're hearing someone that's telling you straight up.
Yep.
But like if you have friends that are always like, "Oh yeah, like you're doing great." Like even if they do something bad and they're like still in your back, like yeah. Like you're going to have friends that aren't going to be straight up with you just so they can preserve your feelings. But I think you need that one or even all your friends have to be straight up in order for you to grow
Yeah.
or you're never going to learn from what you're doing wrong.
Yep.
Like you need someone in your life that's going to straight up tell you how it is, tell you how they see it, and you could totally disagree with them. But as long as you're listening and semi-considering what they have said, I think it just makes you a stronger person. And like you can totally get like so mad at them in the moment. And I think for me, like I've had a lot of experiences where I'll tell them how I see it. They'll be mad at me in the moment, and sometimes they get over it. And I think getting over it shows like a sign of growth where you're actually considering, you're like, oh yeah, like maybe he was right, something like that. But then there's still a lot of people that can't handle the truth. And I think that's just something that comes with being mature is if you have to handle the truth, you have to know when you're wrong. And to have someone straight up, like even if I'm wrong, like if someone straight up tells me like, yo, you did this wrong, like yeah, like I might be a little bit mad at the beginning, but if I come to and I'm like, oh yeah, like I was wrong, just going back and like saying to that person like, oh yeah, you called me out when I was at my lowest about being wrong, and now I totally get what you were saying. Like that's
Yeah.
on me for not understanding it right off the bat and not considering what you said to me
That's
off the
kind of
bat.
like it's kind of like the like if you see it on my little private story, like the lyrics that I write.
Yeah.
Like I just write whatever comes in my mind, and it's just I don't know. I just try and make funny like lines and nah. But what brought that up is I don't know. I was thinking since we're on the topic of relationships, I had this. I probably shouldn't even say this. This is crazy. This might get cut. This might get cut. I have no idea. I don't know how comfortable I'll be, but you know what? It's my pod. I'm gonna share it. So there was this girl that I used to talk to, and it was like tough because I mean I was like really into her. Like I was just really into her, if I'm being honest, and I never really told her, and dude, I suck at that, you know what I'm saying? And it's not who you're thinking of. It's not who you're thinking of. It's a whole different girl. And
I feel like I have a couple different
yeah, you probably do.
ones that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about.
So I am weird. I'm always into these crazy. I'm a super mellow, calm guy. I have my anxious part about me, but I'm this super calm guy, and I'm always into these crazy, crazy animal chicks, like these crazy chicks. And I don't know why. I don't know why. And I was like super into this girl, and I can't really say what we did or anything, or she'll know who it is. Then
Yeah.
I don't want her to know. But it's just weird because this is so bad. This might get cut. This is so bad. This might get cut. But I literally last night I had this dream. Like literally I just woke up this morning. Like a couple hours ago I had this dream, and she was in it, and I was like, dude, like I don't know, my heart just like turned, and like I don't know how to describe it. Like it's almost like a wholesome moment. Like I was like, it was like a dream of like what we did and what we
Yeah.
had, and I was just like, man, that was so fun. And I kind of got over it, but now I'm kind of hung up on it again. Even though I don't really talk to her much anymore, I'm like hung up on it again. I'm like, dang, like that was so fun. I wish that more happened. I wish more came out of it. And but yeah, it's just a crazy story. I'm just always in these crazy girls. I don't get it. I'm like a super calm, mellow guy. I'm like, hey, you do this, you do that type of guy. and I'm into these girls that are just wild, like
Yeah.
wild. They're very wild. They're very energetic. They're very going, 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 and I don't get it. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because like it's an opposite trait of mine. But I don't know. I just had that dream and I was like, geez, I was like, that was kind of fire. Like it was good. It was a good like memory booster. I don't know if that will make the pod, but
No,
I
I
honestly don't
definitely
care.
I
I
definitely
let it,
agree with you.
yeah.
There's always I feel like everyone has that one person that whether it's like a current or it's a one that's like a someone from the past where you still think about their memories. Like I will say like I'm not gonna say whether it's current or not, but like
Actually, yeah, we have an edit. I could say her name.
but like there's times where I'm like okay, like yeah, like we did this and I definitely think I enjoyed that and
I
like
had
there's
fun
sometimes
too.
where I
Like,
think
yeah,
about like past memories or even current memories like days after it actually happens and there's it's not necessarily that I miss anyone. I think like the memories, yes, but like there's certain people that are just like yeah, like I don't necessarily like miss the person but I miss the memories and I think that's what a
yep.
lot of people
See, I missed the
hang up
person.
on.
Yeah, like
I mean
I
I
actually
will
do
say
miss
there
the
are
person.
people that
Yeah,
I like semi miss but like
yeah.
I'm not gonna like
I just
trip
miss
over that
like
or
doing
nothing.
stuff with them, and I don't know. It's like the soft side of me, I guess, but I don't know. I just saw like, and I saw like a couple memories pop up from like years ago, whatever, a year ago, and I was like, dang, like that was fun. And she was actually just a great. The worst part is she's besides being crazy, she's a great woman. She is, and it sucks that nothing ever more came of it. But
Yeah.
that's in the past now, and I just have to move on. And but it was cool to have that little memory. Like in my, I literally dreamed about it. Like I don't know if I was thinking about. I literally wasn't even thinking about her to be
Yeah.
honest, and just like I don't know,
It
my
popped
brain.
up, yeah.
Yeah, she was in the back of my brain or something. I
I
don't
think
know.
I think my most toxic trait, I guess you could say, I don't know if it's toxic, but I think like once I'm done with a girl, like I'm not gonna necessarily like block them or anything like that, like be rude to them.
Yeah,
I'm obviously not gonna talk to them as much, but I think my most toxic thing is I love when I'm doing something great and I have people that'll like from the past they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like I was wrong, like let's hang out, let's do something again." And I think it's just so satisfying to be like, "Okay, no, you didn't nothing worked out when we did it before when I wasn't doing like this type of stuff. But now that like you see I'm doing so much better now, it's like trying to come back in. I think that's the most satisfying thing for me is to know that like I'm progressing in life when people from the past will come back and say stuff. Like I'll like like there's times before where like I'd like mess around and be like try to like go hang out with people from the past. Like not sometimes serious, sometimes not. But like I think it's the most satisfying thing when someone from the past sees that you're doing better than them, sees that you've grown so much more without them, and they try to like slide in your DMs again and be like, "Yo, like I missed what we had, like let's try it again." And I think
yeah,
you have to have like the knowledge and to know that going back to stuff from the past isn't necessarily the fix of like what you need now. And that's something I'm strong by. Like once it's over, it's gonna take a lot for it to come back. But I think maybe give it a try if it's worth it. But if it was like a terrible past, everything like that, like there's just zero shot that I would ever go back and experience something again just for it to possibly have a different effect, but the majority of the time it's gonna have the same effect.
yeah. I think a lot of people just like perceive me a different way,
Hmm.
and there's people that perceive me like I'm either like too friendly, or there's people that perceive me I'm too arrogant, I'm too mean, and people just perceive me a different way, and I think that's ultimately why the relationship didn't work out. I wasn't perceived as I don't know how to like put it. It's like that's literally just how I think. Is just I wasn't perceived as the right guy, and we ended up just like crossing things off, and I was upset because I was like, dang, like I was actually like upset about it. I've never been really upset. Like I've been rejected a couple times in my life. I've never been upset, but this one was like different because there was times I was like, oh, maybe she's actually into me, and maybe she's not. And it was one of them times where you're like nervous about it. Again, coming back to like the mental health thing, I was super nervous about it every time. And when I'm nervous, I talk a lot. I always talk a lot. Like I talk way more than I probably should. And so it doesn't seem like I'm nervous, but I am hella nervous when I'm talking a lot, when I'm coming up with random questions, I'm nervous, and that's what I'm doing. But we got along really well. There were nights, we just spent in the car talking for hours. I had work the next day, and I'm talking to like 2 a.m. in the car, and I had to get up at 6. And so it's just that's literally like that's the type of person she was, and I wish her nothing but the best, and I hope one day maybe we can rekindle.
Yeah, I mean, you're making those sacrifices,
Yeah.
losing sleep and everything. And I mean, it does suck when it ends, but everything comes to an end at one point, and
Yeah,
some things
facts.
are, it's
Bro, the end
beneficial
of
for it
this,
to come
I just
in.
thought about that. The end of this pod, bro, I'm gonna be like bawling my eyes out. The last episode of this pod, I'll be so sad, dude.
Yeah, hopefully that's not for a while.
Well, I hope not either, but
I think that'll
it's gonna be bittersweet.
it's gonna be a sad day just considering we started so young. And I mean, I'm hoping that at some point, like, I wouldn't even mind going into this and like till we're like really old, like 60s. But I think that day when it comes, it's gonna be so emotional just to see how far
Yeah.
we've come and everything like that.
We need to make like a big video of like all the like
The
first
best
times,
moments type
best
thing,
moments,
yeah.
and have like a good song behind it or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's gonna be a very emotional. I don't even want to think about it right now because it'll be here before I know it.
Yeah, it'll
you
be
know?
crazy.
It'll be. I mean, 40 years. I mean, hopefully it's 40 years from now. I hope we're 60. I hope we're financially set and we just don't need to do this anymore. Even if we don't need to do it, I would love to hop on other people's pods and love to talk to people and. The younger generation will probably have grandkids by then. Who knows? I don't want any kids, so I know I really won't. But I will have, and I know I don't think you.
I mean,
You
it's
definitely do down
like,
the road.
It's like it's something I want to get like financially stable and everything, find like the right person. Not something you want to rush, but I think I would definitely look into the option of having some kids or something like that, just
Yeah,
so
it's
you
crazy.
can pass it on. Because like,
Yeah.
even if sometime down the road you decide to have kids, our kids could be the next people sitting
Sitting in this
sitting
chair.
in
I was
this,
thinking
using
about
our
that.
like everything like that, and
It would
it
be
should be
really
so nice to see.
It's crazy. So this podcast might never end. It might go on for generations.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do end up having kids, I'd have to meet the right woman. Because I can't do kids. Like I don't know. I'm good with them when they're not mine. I'm good like taking care of them. And I have a niece and a nephew right now, and I'm there for them whenever they need. And my brother wants a ton of kids, so I'll be there for them. But it's just hard to know, and it's more, and it's crazy because I'm going to go back to this. It's more of the mental game. It's will I be a good father? Because there's things I struggle with now. I'm like, when I have a kid, it's going to be 20 times worse because I'm worrying about my wife. I'm worrying about the kid. I'm worrying about I'm the man of the house. I have to defend them with all my, I'm the alpha male. Like I have to be that alpha male, no matter what's going on. I have to defend them and I have to work for them. And so it's a lot. It's another one of them overthinking moments where I'm like, will I even be a good father? So there's because I don't even want to be a father. So will I even be a good father? It's just a lot. Like it's a lot to take in. I think it would all go away when my son or daughter comes out. I think it would all go away. Like literally, when my son or daughter comes out and it's right there,
Yeah.
I think that all them thoughts would go away, and I'd be focused on them. But it's just knowing that could happen is really crazy to me, and I don't know. I don't think I'd be a great father. So
I just
I'm
think
kind of selfish.
I still think you're a
sometimes.
little young to
Yeah,
be
I'm definitely
crossing
young.
it out saying
Yeah.
you're not going to be. But I mean, I like to think I'm pretty good with like taking care of kids, everything like that. So I'm not crossing that out. If I find the right girl and she wants
Exactly.
kids, like I'm down for it. If she doesn't, then that's just something
It would have
that
to
we have
be
to. Yeah.
the exact woman for me because she'd have to convince me so bad. Like it would be like, say this, and she'd have to like it would have to be like I'm saying 10 out of 10 out of 10 every category 10. Like just personality, like I don't know. It'd have to be like the right one for me. Like we'd have to be together for a lot of years, and we'd have to be probably married because I'm all about that stuff. Like having kids after marriage and stuff. And I don't know. It's tough. I'm 20. I'm not going to talk about it now, but down the road, when I'm in my late 20s, maybe early 30s, we'll get back into that. We'll get back into the topic. I definitely do want to get married though. Like marriage is cool, so I'm definitely excited for that. Getting married, I'm so excited.
I think once I get married, like it's just natural. I'm gonna have a kid.
Yeah, some of my friends, and just having like, dude, just like everyone being there, like all of our friends at the wedding and stuff. It's just,
Dude, how
I don't
about
know.
that
It's gonna be
house
so
that you
fun.
sent me though, where it's like one big house and then there's
all the small
I think
houses.
that would
Yeah.
be so tough to have.
I
all of
said
our
that
friends
should be
in
where
one
all of our
area.
editors like stay.
Yeah.
We get the like big house and then
That would be so
even
tough.
they can live with us and then have like all of our other people like
That would
stay in
be
the
so nice to
houses
have
around
everyone
it.
in the same
It's like a little
area.
neighborhood. It'd be
I mean,
so insane.
it's most likely never gonna happen where we have like all of our friends in one area, just because there's so many different people with so many different plans and places they want to go. But I think that would be like the best thing ever, to have everyone just living in the same place. I think it would just be so great, and it just bring back so many memories from high school, everything now, and I think it would just be so great to be able to walk outside and be like, oh yeah, shit, like there's Tyler. Tyler's right across the street. Or like anyone really.
You could like knock on my door instead of calling me.
Yeah, for real. I think that would be so nice.
Or just, well, I would just have my.
I'd be like, yo, Tyler, you trying to film a podcast? And he's like, yeah, I'll be right over.
And we have our own pod room.
Yeah,
like,
and it's like a
setting
minute
up
walk
takes
instead.
setting up takes a second because you only have to plug in one thing. It would just
press
be
play. Yeah,
look,
I think it would be so nice.
Super
to do
excited for the future, guys. Is there anything else you want to talk
that.
about?
No, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, this is a good pod. I'm excited we got to talk about the things we did, relationships, mental health. Unless, did you want to touch on religion before we?
I mean,
did you want to save
I
it?
feel like that might be a topic that we can bring up in another podcast. I think it's definitely a strong topic. It's something I would like to talk
Yeah,
about.
we'll have like a whole pod about religion coming soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you didn't, I don't know what episodes before this. Tune into last episode. Tune into all the episodes. Go watch them. Go and I promise you. So I wanted to say this before I get off of here. The chances of us being huge YouTubers or whatever is very small, but it's not impossible. And like I said in the beginning, I'm going to keep saying that nothing's impossible. Put your mind to anything you want to do. National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, anything you want to do, go do it. And I'll end it right here. So thank you guys for watching. And obviously, I said tune into the last episodes. Appreciate you guys. Everyone, drop a like button, drop a comment. If you made it to the end, comment out of the park boy, like you're an out of the park boy. I don't know. Comment something. Comment whatever you want if you made it to the end. And if you guys have any other topics or anything you'd like us to get into, definitely leave a comment. And if you have any guests or if you have any connections, let us know. We'll be happy to just talk to you guys. But thank you guys for watching. This has been another Out of the Park Boys production. Tutor, send them off.
Peace.
Yeah.